Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. Boozer here. Thanks for stopping by. Today's video, we're going to go over the brand new Heroes Path that just dropped to complete the Jeroboam Brewguard fusion. It's at the tail end of it. There's 20 fragments in here up for grabs. If you have completed every single event up until this moment, you can skip 10 of those 20 that are available. So keep that in mind when you guys are doing it, of course. So here's the hero path. It's going to be a 3-day event. It's going to be off of shards and dungeon diving. It's not too bad. There's a couple dungeons going on right now. Like we have the ice golem, the Odin's path, Odin's trial, sorry. And then of course we have a progressive event happening right now. A pretty good one for void champions. Pretty good ones for the regular champions as well. So for voids, we got this guy I'm really interested in as well. I might actually, maybe I pull for him. I'm not too sure. Prisia here as well. Very, very good. So not a bad progressive event paired up with this Heroes Path if you guys are pulling shards. But here is the path. Personally, on first glance and after doing some preliminary work on it, it looks kind of nasty. And yeah, it looks kind of nasty. We will break it down for you guys here and then see what our best options are. So let's get right into it. All right, folks. So here it is in its entirety. We will go over it here. Let's take the, let's go with red. And the thing is that's important here is that we start off with 0 keys. It would have been really helpful if Plarium gave us 1 key, but instead they gave us 0 keys. And this is why it's kind of nasty. Let's mark where the keys are so we can get a better sense of what's going on. So we got 1 key here, we got 2 keys down here, 2 keys down here, 1 key here, and 1 key here. So this is kind of where it gets really nasty, is because the 4 fragments are gated behind 4 keys. This means you have to kind of manage your path to get the keys wherever you want to spend your resources, right? It looks like the paths are mostly the same other than like a few of the smaller ones. So it really depends on your preference. So this would be the cheapest way to get the 4 keys. So after you pick up the 4 keys, you open the keys and then you pick up the 4 fragments, right? And then you're done. So that, let's total this all up. So 4 keys. So this is the 20 frags. 20 frags here, which gives us a total of 51,500 points needed to get the full 20 fragments if you guys need it for the fusion. That gives us an equivalent of about 11.4 sacred shards. So if you think of this 11, sacred shards, 11.5 sacred shards roughly, in terms of a summon rush, that means you're sitting at about just under 6,000 points for 20 fragments, which is basically like, the double version of the normal summon rush, for example. The price is kind of in line. It's kind of in line. You're picking up 1 legendary book along the way. Other than that, you're not really picking up too much. Actually, in this case, you get a small discount as opposed to doing 2 separate summon rushes, which is usually about 6 sacreds per like fragment threshold. So if you were doing 2 summon rushes, you probably pay about 12. So here's like a small discount, 11.4. And sometimes you don't even get the legendary book. So in this case, you actually do get the legendary book. So, all right. So what if you wanted the 5-star soul? In this case, you have 3 keys to go after for the 5-star soul. It's pretty straightforward in terms of which route you want to take. So you either take the oil route or you take the powder route. So whichever route you want to take. And then obviously you start with the front 2. Let's say we take the powder route just for simplicity. So we're going to take it all the way down to this key. And then we're going to come here and then take it all the way down to the 5-star soul. After doing the math on that, 85,000 points, which is the equivalent of just under 19 sacred shards. For these heroes path, it's basically, kind of expected to pay like upwards of the high teens, maybe even 20 sacred shards for the 5-star soul. In this case, Jeroboam, he's not like going to be a very popular fusion. He's decent. He doesn't really need accuracy to make his kit work, so the 5-star is not super important. And honestly, like, I'm not even sure what blessing you would kind of put on him. Maybe temporal chains for like arena, but he's not really that great in arena. He's probably more of a Hydra champion, and he only really has 1 attack, so he's not going to put cruelty, for example. Yeah, so it just comes down to how worth it, like a 5-star soul, is it for this guy. And I don't really think it's that impactful, to be honest. So it's probably a skip unless you're, you know, into collecting, right? Obviously a 5-star soul is not easy to get for a legendary, but you know, you can argue how often you're going to use this champion. But that's going to be the price tag, guys. 19 sacred shards here for the 5-star soul. You're going to pick up a legendary book along the way as well. All right, so what about the 3-star soul? Maybe the 3-star soul is actually worth it. I don't think so. Again, it's not actually that worth it. Again, I don't know what kind of blessing is going to be super impactful on this guy, but I don't know if he really needs a blessing in the first place. But let's see, for the sake of argument, what a 3-star soul is going to cost. So again, we're going to go for the magic potion because it's blue, and then we're going to go for the mortal soul stone, and then you're going to go down to get the first key, whichever one you want to take here. Let's go down for simplicity's sake again. So let's hop down here, here, here. And then you're going to go down the 1 key route. That's going to be here, here, and landing there. So the 3-star total is going to be costing you, after doing the math, 21,500 points, which is the equivalent of 4.8 sacred shards. For a 3-star soul, you get some coins, some big essences here. Well, stuff to buy essences. 6-star epic or 100 of the oil or powder. I mean, for 5 sacred shards, I don't know if this is worth it, to be honest. It's about 2,500 points in a regular summon rush. I guess in a regular summon rush, you're not getting much anyways, but I don't know if this is going to be worth it, mainly because this champion doesn't really benefit super hard off blessings. Obviously, it's going to help. It's going to give him increased HP, attack, and defense, which is good. Personally, I think I would definitely skip the 4-star. And if you guys are so inclined, it's going to be the 5-star all the way. I would not bother going for the 4-star. So it's either 3-star or 5-star. That's it. Or none, to be honest. And I don't really think it's probably worth spending the sacred shards on for this guy, unless you really plan on using him for something. So that's going to be the cost for the 3-star. All right, what about, hey Booze, I really want to pull some shards, but I don't care about this fusion at all. What rewards can I get? How about a legendary book? The really crappy thing about the legendary books in this path is that they're all blocked off by these keys. So you're going to be spending some extra resources getting a key that you don't need just to get a book. So again, it's pretty straightforward. The book is in the same spot for everyone, and there's 3 of these different paths for the book, and they're all the same cost. So it really just depends on which resource you want, whether it's 100 oil, 100 powder, or 6-star chaos ore. Let's give the oil some love this time. So let's go down to the oils. So I'm going to hop here, hop here, hop here, hop here, up there, and then we're going to end up with the book. How much is this going to cost you? All right, so 31,000 points will get you the cheapest legendary book in this hero's path. It's going to cost you about seven sacred shards, which is the equivalent of about 3,500 in a summon rush. I would say 3,500 for a legendary book in a summon rush is probably a pretty good deal in terms of where books usually end up in summon rushes. You're not really getting much else. You're getting a couple, oil. You're getting a 5-star chicken. That's about it. You're not really getting anything else. Is it really worth it? You're also wasting 1,000 on a key that you won't use, right? I don't know. Is it worth it? Probably not. I mean, the progressive event is pretty good. But it's going to be up to you guys whether it's actually worth it or not. Going for the mythical tome, for example, you got to waste another 2k points on 2 keys, and then you're going to pay up for the mythical tome there. So the first mythical tome would probably be somewhere in the 55,000 range, so about 11 or 12 sacred shards worth, which is probably in line with what regular summon rushes is, if you're inclined to get the mythical book here. Usually these mythical books are pretty overpriced in Hero's Path. It's just a lot of points. But yeah, I think overall this This path event is probably not very, not a fan favorite for anybody. I'm pretty sure the fusion, most people passed. And this soul is just so lackluster for this champion. Like this whole fusion, this hero's path, like it really reminds me of the incarnate fusion. That's like the partner bonus champion for Arbiter. She was very like plain blah, like, and then you got a 5-star soul for her during the hero's path, and that was so blah too. So this event definitely has that feel to it. I'm not overly interested, even though I want to pull shards for I want to pull void shards for this guy, but this progressive event is okay. I am closer to Mercy, so I can hit my legendary. But this hero's path is so blah. Like there's really not really any kind of reward here that's really worth anything. Like a legendary book, you're basically paying regular price, but you're not getting too much along the way. These souls are not very good for this champion, and they're pretty expensive too. Like you're paying 19 sacred shards for the 5-star, and these fragments. I mean, there's no real discount there. You're paying just under 12 sacred shards for 20, which is like pretty standard. So it's not a great discount anywhere. Yeah. It's a very blasé end to the fusion. Hopefully you guys aren't strapped and you have to use, 12 sacred shards here. It's going to be pretty nasty. But at least there's a dungeon component, which makes it maybe a little bit easier. Like I said, there is some good dungeons happening right now. So we have the Ice Golem happening. We have the Odin's Trial happening as well. And then champion training. So you guys can even pair up summoning shards with training them in campaign. And then that'll add, extra dungeon diving points. So there is like some good double, maybe even triple dipping this event to get some extra points, so you don't have to spend so many shards. So in that regards, it is better than just like a pure summon event. But yeah, I think this is just not a very popular fusion, and this hero's path just, it's nothing's too enticing here to make you want to spend resources. But I think maybe they made the progressive a little bit extra juicy just to entice people. Obviously, you got Newt here. Otherion's obviously very good. Rat's very good for Arena. It's getting a lot of love right now. You got Geomancer for the Epic. And like I said, for the Voids, you got Acrizia and this Unreal, which is really good. So you got some options here. But yeah, for me, I'm going to have to think about it a little bit. I can totally skip this one on this account. On my other account, I have to go for 10. But on this account, I can totally skip this. And I think I might just hold on to shards for a little bit. But anyways, guys, that's going to be it for the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully you guys learned something and it was informative for you guys. Let me know in the comments below what you guys are planning to do. Love to hear that. And yeah, best of luck. Have a great Friday. And best of luck on your polls if you guys are going for it. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.